Welcome back to the Razorback podcast. Today I'm so excited to be joined by someone who's a huge high school recruit and is now making a huge impact in his first semester being an Arkansas Razorback football player. As most people his age are still a high school senior, but he decided to come up to the University of Arkansas early to make sure he knew the playbook and to get used to workouts and just get used to campus. First off, thank you for being on with us today, Tavion Wallace. First off, how has the adjustment been from high school last semester to being a college athlete this semester?
Yeah, it's been a big jump for me, at least. I know when I first got here, I was worried, at the time I was 17 coming into college, I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this life. But when I got here, I turned 18 as soon as I got here. So then I was like, well, I'm growing up now. And then, the people here have helped me, and it's been easy. People like you showing how they care and love for us that's here, and the support of the community has been real. So I love it here, and I'm glad I'm here.
And something that I like about you, as we were joking beforehand, I was like, I almost feel like you're on FCA staff because every time University of Arkansas FCA posts, it's almost a picture of you. So I'm like, man, is this guy like the president of FCA already? But tell us a little bit about just getting involved with FCA and how that's been.
I was pretty involved at my high school. I know they was pretty big on it from where I came at. So, when I came here, I was looking to, get into it because I know a lot of people, when they get to college, they just tend to shy away from God. But I wanted to keep that in my life. I didn't want to, shy away from God. I wanted to show others what's God doing in my life. And they see a D1 football player, FCA, everybody will be like, oh, this is what God is really doing. So I want to show everyone, what's God doing in my life and how good he is.
Yeah, I love that, and it reminds me so much of one of my favorite quotes, which says, actions of a few affect many. And something I love, and I heard in an interview before you got to Arkansas, is you said one of the biggest things that led you to Arkansas was your faith.
Right.
And can you just talk about how you got to Arkansas and how your faith helped you get here?
I'm going to take it back to my visit. I visited here May 31st through June 2nd, and I prayed when I got here that God let me see everything how it was. And my first day here, I told my mom, I was like, this is where I want to be at. I prayed about it that night, and when I left, I prayed about it. And I took many official visits after that, but I continued to pray that God led me somewhere that feels like home. Going away for 14 hours, my mom's going to get worried sometimes. I was like, let me go somewhere where she knows I'm safe every day. I can pray with the people that's here. I don't always have to call her when there's a problem. So I feel like that's a big reason.
Yeah, that's awesome about how you were able to reminds me so much of Jeremiah 33, verse 3, where it says, when we call on the name of the Lord, he will show us great and unimaginable things. Because something I'm going to mention, because I know you wouldn't mention this because you're a humble guy, is you were a sought-out recruit, as you talked about before we started this podcast. You went on visits to a lot of different FCC schools, where it was Georgia, and then even out west to schools like Arizona. And in that time when you were on the visit, was that one of the biggest things that helped you, just knowing that you just had a peace that God was calling you here?
Yeah, I know when I took my visit here, especially how Coach Pittman was and T. Will the same when I met him 6 years ago. He's the same then that he was now, so that was one of the biggest things. Some coaches can change how they are, as a recruit, and then when you're here as a player. But he hasn't changed. He kept it 100 for me day one with me and my family, and I know for a fact he's big on faith too, so that helps me out a lot, having a coach that's big on faith. He starts meeting with prayer, and we end practice with a prayer. So, that's pretty good about him.
Yeah, I've heard that from different guys on the team, that he starts and ends practice with prayer. I think that's just great for you and the other guys to be able to, because so many things can happen leading up to practice, whereas with classes, you're like, man, I just did terrible on a test. I know for me personally, I've walked into things like, oh, gosh, what just happened? Yeah. Or, after practice, you're like, okay, that's really intense practice, and, I went out with a teammate, but I think that's awesome that he just keeps the main thing. And can you talk to us a little bit about, as I know you talked about how Coach T-Will recruited your brother who's now playing for the Carolina Panthers, what it means to you just have a coach that just kept a relationship with you, as I know you talked about before the podcast. So many coaches can just maybe just talk about money. Mm-hmm. But can you talk about the importance of him just having a relationship with you that's greater than just money or football?
Yeah, with that, it's pretty big because, you need a coach that you can have a bond with, not just a player to coach, but a player to someone you can look up to, like a big brother, or someone, some people who doesn't have a father figure. And for him, I feel like it's like a older role model I can look up to because he shows us the right thing, he shows us the wrong thing, and he shows how we can fix the wrong thing to make it the right thing. And how he taught us he won't cuss us out. He respects us as we respect him. So like you get respect, you give respect. So like I love the relationship me and him have, and it's been very important. Like over the years, my brother didn't end up playing for him, but he was committed to him, and then he kept that relationship with us like through my brother. Then it went from me, and then I got a younger brother, and T. Will has been the same to all three of us, I could say.
Yeah, I think that's really cool how he's kept that relationship, and that really shows that he genuinely cared about you as a person, and it's much greater than just football.
Yeah.
And I know for you, in the past couple of months, it probably seems like so much has happened. Have you had any, as some people like to say, like welcome to the SEC moments where it's like, dang, I knew that playing college football was different, but I didn't know it was going to be this hard?
When I got here, it wasn't as bad because, I was working out and everything. But when spring hit and we was at practice and then, like, I seen how everything was moving, I was like, bro, I'm at the University of Arkansas playing in the SEC right now. Like, when I first got to practice, it was moving fast. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to keep up. But, like, as time goes, it's starting to slow down for me. I'm getting better at it.
Yeah, I'm sure whenever you have guys like Carmona coming around the edge to block you, you're like,
yeah.
oh, dang, there's a reason he's one of the best in the SEC. But what's some of the – because I know with change, as most people your age are still high school seniors getting ready for prom or in the middle of track or baseball season, what's been some of the biggest lessons that God has shown you over the past couple months?
The biggest lesson that he showed me with me leaving high school early, it's okay to be different because, of course, I had thoughts about staying in high school, but I was like, I wanted to get a step ahead of everyone and, like, to show them the path that I'm going down. They don't have to go down the one I'm going down. Like, I want to show them that it's possible to make it out a small town from where I'm from because not too many people make it out where I'm from. So I wanted to, like, be, like, example for everyone that was there to, like, give them hope. Not too many people that come from a small town have hope. So, like, when they have people like me or, like, someone else that's bigger than me, like, come from a small town, like, that helps them out a lot. So, like, I feel like that's a change. And then me leaving early, meeting new people, and, like, I met somebody from Germany, and, like, I never thought of Germany.
You never thought you'd come to University of Arkansas and meet someone from Germany.
Like, that's been pretty good. I meet new people. I learn new things every day. So, like, that's been the biggest change for me, just meeting new people and learning new things every day.
That's awesome. And that's one of the biggest things I know for me, even though I'm just from Oklahoma. When I came to Arkansas, I remember meeting people from countries like, whether it was like in Central America or wherever it was, I was like, dang, you never thought you'd meet certain people at the University of Arkansas. And is there some things about the University of Arkansas, like when you got here on your visit or as a student, you're like, man, I didn't really expect Arkansas to have this?
When I came here, like, I thought Arkansas, I just think of people coming here to go duck hunting. So, like, when I came here, I didn't see, like, it didn't look like too many people go hunting. I just thought I was going to see cows, horses, and all that everywhere. But, like, it's beautiful here, I ain't going to lie. And then the hills, I never expected that. Like, when everyone said, welcome to the hill, I didn't know what it mean. But, like, walking to class, I know what it mean, though.
Oh, yeah, you know what it means, especially after a hard workout, too, leg day.
That'd be the ones.
Yeah, after that, you're probably like, Neil, I need a ride now.
Yeah, I'll be asking for rides to class all the time.
Yeah, but something I love to talk about with different athletes, and something I didn't realize until I started going through adversity, losing my sight, is how are some ways that your faith has been able to help you in the game of football, whether it's a tough practice or things aren't always going great, or maybe things are going good?
I know for me, times have gotten hard, like workouts and stuff. I'd be like, I don't feel like going through this workout. So I will pray that God leads me the right way and he fixed my mind. And once you put your mind on God, nothing can stop you from doing what you're meant to do. And once you focus on him, everything, it won't get easier, but it will seem like you can accomplish it way more than you thought you could without him.
Yeah, that is so true, and it reminds me so much of a story I heard the other day about a story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, where they pretty much could have bowed down to an idol and everything would have been easy. But by them not bowing down to an idol, they were thrown into a fiery furnace, and everyone around them said, you guys are going to die. You guys are, why are you guys doing this? But they said, we're only going to bow down to Jesus.
Right.
And by them doing that, not only did the fiery furnace not burn them, but while they're in the furnace, people on the outside could see a fourth man who was Jesus. And I think what you said is a great testament to that when pro trust in Christ, it doesn't mean, as you know, it doesn't mean football practice is just going to be doesn't mean it's not going to be 100 degrees out during fall camp.
Yeah.
But what does mean is you can know that Jesus is with you everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And for you, I know you said you're involved with FCA back home. That's something you really want to get involved with here. Has there been some people that have really helped you in your own walk with Christ?
I would say my football team every Friday. Well, Taylor Green, start quarterback here. He started a Bible study every Friday. So I feel like the group of people that come to the Bible study every week, like it really shows how we are hungry for the Lord, because not too many people get to college and be hungry for the Lord. But I can say we have a group of men that are hungry for the Lord and hungry for His word. So I feel like that group of men held me accountable and keep me accountable in everything that I do.
That's so awesome, because I heard something the other day, which is so true. It said in life, we're either running away or run to God. I think it's one of the most powerful things when you can have a group of brothers that are literally going through life together, going through those meetings. I'm sure that seems like sometimes, man, is this ever going to end?
Yeah.
Or going through those long practices and workouts, but doing it together, running to Christ.
Right.
And has there been some lessons you've been able to learn from guys like Taylor or during those Bible studies?
Yeah, the lessons I've learned, like no matter how big you get, because, Taylor, he's a starting quarterback here. So everywhere you go, hey, this Taylor Green. But no matter how big you get, no matter how famous, how popular you think you are, no one's bigger than God. So, you got to start with God and end with God. So if your life not around God, any materialistic thing you have in your life, it doesn't matter. If it's not for God or from God, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's so good. And I love what you said about no matter how big we get in life, if it's not from God or for God, it doesn't matter. It reminds me so much of a verse I've had to be reminded of so much in 1 Peter 5, verse 6, which says, humble yourself under God's mighty hand, and He will lift you up in due time. And has there been some examples for you where maybe something didn't go exactly how you want it to go, but by trusting in Christ, He was able to show you something that was greater than what you thought could happen in the moment?
I feel like with this recruitment process, I didn't know it would be that hard, but I prayed and prayed. Like Matthew 6:33, seek first the kingdom of God. So I had to seek God first, and then to clear my mind, I committed July 2nd. July 1st, I was like, whoa, how am I tell all these coaches no? But I feel like God has really helped me through that situation, and now that I'm here, I'm pretty blessed to be here. Thank God for me being here. He's opened doors for me that I never imagined being open.
Yeah, and I'm sure, even though you had to tell some coaches no, that no matter if you would have told another coach yes, that no one would have been more excited than Coach T. Will.
Yeah.
As for anyone watching or listening to this podcast, if you haven't already, look up Travis Williams going crazy after getting a recruit, and that was he was going nuts. I think, didn't he run down the hall, and then if I'm not wrong, didn't he go back to his office and turn on They Not Like Us?
Yeah.
I was like, dang, this, and it went viral. So I'm sure when you saw that, you're like, dang, that is crazy.
Yeah, I couldn't wait to get coached by him.
Yeah, I'm sure you're like, man, I can't wait to get coached by a guy that literally, when I said I was committed, just took off down the hall sprinting, like he was ready to tackle someone.
Right.
But for this next year, I know you're just a freshman, but I know you have big goals. Is there some goals you have for yourself in this next year, whether it's just in your walk with God or on the football field?
On the football field, I would say to get 1% better every day. That's my goal. As a person, I would say get 1% better every day. And then, with my walk with God, just to stay focused on Him. I don't want to say be a Christian, but to be a disciple and disciple others and, let them hear the word of God and let them hear and see the things that He's doing through me. That's why I love the sport of football, because so many eyes be on me playing football. And while I'm playing football, I feel like God has put me in this position to show others what He's doing in my life.
I love how you said that. And that's the reason I love the game of football too. And I heard a coach say this one time, but I couldn't agree with it more. He said he believes God created football on the 8th day. Yeah. Obviously just joking, but as you know, there's so many lessons you can learn because football's hard, but that's the beauty in it. And that's why it's such a great way for us to grow in our faith. As I love how you guys have Taylor's been able to start a Bible study. Then younger guys like you are able to follow his lead and help other guys not only grow as football players, but as you said, disciple others and grow in their own walk with Christ, which I think is something that's so awesome because, as you know, there will be a day where the lights go out, the helmet comes off, but that relationship with God is the one thing that's eternal. And that's so awesome that you said that. And whether someone comes across you once or in your time at Arkansas or wherever you end up going, hopefully one day it's in the NFL playing with your brother with the Panthers or whoever it's with. If there's something that someone can know you for, what would you want that to be?
I would say my love for others. Like, I like to put others before myself. Like, if I see someone that's not happy, I'm going to try everything in my heart I can do to make them happy. So, like, I don't want to be remembered for the Tavion Wallace that played for Arkansas and in the future to play in the NFL. I want to be known as a guy. I want to be known as a child of God, somebody that love others and put others before himself.
No, that is so good. I love what you said right there about how you don't want to be known as the Tavion Wallace that played at Arkansas or played in the NFL, because I feel like in life, for all of us, it's so easy to get bogged down on what we do.
Right.
And when we get so bogged down on what we do, it can be so frustrating.
Yeah.
And in those times, it can be easy to forget whose we are. And I love what you said right there, because every single person listening to this can apply that to their own life. And something that I know, too, is from you just doing that, going out of your way to love others, man, you never know the legacy that you can leave, because people will forget the plays at some point, but they'll never forget how you treat them. So I know that's why I've been so impressed by you, because, I mean, shoot, you just turned 18 recently, but already making a huge impact. It's much greater, I would say, than all of us could see, but than I can see. But and then a question I love to finish off this podcast with, and is obviously today there's going to be someone listening to this, whether they're on the way to work, they're doing a workout or wherever they're at, that is going through something tough, whether it's a diagnosis or things in the family aren't going great, or just something is just making their life hard. What's the encouraging message you'd have for them to be able to rise above whatever it is they're facing?
I would say to encourage them to keep going. Every day the sun won't shine, but at the end of the day, God is still with you. No matter what you're going through or what you will go through, God didn't put us here to not go through anything. Once we became Christians and gave our life to Christ, that didn't mean it was going to get easier. As Christians, life gets harder, so, like, temptation is going to come. All those tragic things are going to happen to us, and we're going to question God, why does this happen to us? I'm following you. But God always does everything for a reason, and continue to trust in him and continue to love others. And once you continue to trust in God, everything will be all right.
That was so good, and I think we can all apply that to our life today and for the rest of our life. It's when we put our trust in God and take our eyes off our circumstance, off of the person next to us, but put our eyes onto God, then that is when we can truly have the hope that we just can't find in this world, that a trophy, an award, nothing can give us. And I know I've been so encouraged just from knowing you the past couple of months, and from being able to hear more about your faith and what God is doing in your life, Tavion. And I know that God is going to continue to work through you. So I should encourage you, just I know I've heard T. Will say, just keep being you, because you're doing a great job of, more than anything, just impacting lives.
Yes, sir.
And as we're getting off today, I should encourage everyone that no matter the storm that you're facing in your life, put your trust in Jesus, and that is the one way that you can rise above whatever the storm is that you're facing.
Amen.
Thank you to everyone for tuning in today. Thank you to everyone who has listened to this episode of the Rise Above podcast. If you want to hear this episode and many more like this in the future, you can continue to support the Rise Above podcast by subscribing on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts at, and writing a review of a way this podcast has helped you in your own life. And one final thing you can do is share this podcast with someone else, because the awesome thing about rising above is when you're truly able to rise above in life, you're not just doing it by yourself, you're bringing others along the way. So as I'm trying to help others rise above, and others are helping me rise above, you can also do your friends a favor and help them rise above by encouraging them with this podcast.